Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to the ISC. Hope you all are great, man. I woke up this morning to another story. I mean, that male circumcision is linked to autism. I mean, this can only be FRK Jr., your health secretary. Someone that is not a doctor or a nurse he got no health, no certification in health or whatever, is trying to tell you that circumcision is linked to autism. But I have never seen DEI hires like this particular government, and they will have the guts to tell us that my people are DEI hire. So I am very sure that I have doctors and nurses on this platform. Please let me know, because I mean, we need to know. I actually made research on my own by myself, right? To find out that there is nothing linked to autism when it comes to circumcision. So I don't know where they are getting all these from. And the fact that the head of the country is also there fueling the conversation, that also makes it even, amazing. But yeah, I really do want to know. But on no account should I hear that somebody is no longer circumcising his male child, because that child is already on a long thing. Let's get into this video.
Okay, you can't make this up. But the Kennedy that should have been in Dallas on November the 22nd, 1963, came out today and said that circumcised boys are more likely to be autistic. Yep, that's what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said. You know what? Let's listen to him in his own words.
There's also there's many other confirmation studies. There's two studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. So, none of this is positive, but all of it is stuff that we should be paying attention to.
Yeah. But, there's a tremendous amount of proof or evidence, I would say, as a non-doctor, but I've studied this a long time ago. I met Bob.
Listen. I don't know what the makers of Tylenol have done to piss off Donald Trump and his glizzy swallowing Kennedy, Robert. But even with the drop accounted for of 5% between 2012 and 2022, 75% of the male population in this country is circumcised at birth. Just gonna leave this right here. Somebody tell me in the comment section what the makers of Tylenol have done to Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It's gotta be something.
Oh my God, I am an idiot, and this is so embarrassing, but I'm gonna own this moment. RFK Jr.'s vendetta against autism and his war on the autism community is not about the autism community. It's about autistic men. Autistic men. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, because people barely acknowledge the fact that autistic women like me even exist in the first place. And why would RFK Jr., of all people, ever even think about or consider women in any way when it comes to do with health or governmental policies or anything like that? This isn't about the autistic community or autistic people as a whole. It's all about autistic men. So in this last meeting, when he was saying that autistic people are diagnosed at twice the rate when they have early circumcisions, that's finally when it clicked. This has been about autistic men the whole time. It's kind of like how the entire trans argument has been about trans women, because they're losing men transitioning into being women, right? So they're losing And I say men, but I'm saying that from their view. Like, yes, as transgender folks, of course, you were always the gender that you were the entire time, and then you transitioned to be able to fit. But from their point of view, they are losing men to becoming women, right? And women are lesser beings. But no one ever, ever, ever discusses transgender men. No one ever discusses transgender men. It's like they forget transgender men even exist. I'm gonna have to think about this more. I don't really have anything more to say on this topic than that, other than the fact that it literally only just clicked that that my existence or the existence of women like me just was never even a passing thought in their minds during this entire autism, Tylenol, put them out in farms and get them on a registry discussion. Let me think this over. I'll get back to you. It's almost embarrassing that I forgot that I am literally a non-entity and don't actually exist in their minds or within their discussion. Excuse me for thinking of myself as an actual person.
Y'all. So there's a breaking news story that just came out that garbage disposal throat, you know what I'm talking about, just announced that boys who are circumcised are twice as likely to develop autism. So, you know where my... like, I don't know if we need to ask him, sir, are you not? Are you? I have so many questions, but I'm not trying to, I don't know. I don't know how to ask the question because what? Because if that's the case, I'm going to assume him, syphilitic Sid, half the men in the Republican Party. What? You just cannot make this shit up. On a serious note, we have gone from it being vaccines to Tylenol. Now we're saying that boys who are circumcised are twice as likely to develop autism. If that's the case, I'm going to assume that there are a lot of autistics out here, right? Nothing bad towards autistic people at all. But how are you going to... I just don't understand how, as a country, we have gone from believing science to believing the man with the brain worm who eats roadkill.
The Secretary for Health and Human Services for the United States of America said today that he wants to ban circumcision because circumcision is a precursor, like circumcising folks is what activates autism in some of the people. I'm going to try to say this in a very delicate and thoughtful way. I'm going to do my very best. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I did not engage with many folks who still had their full spirit intact before I moved to the South. I saw them here and there, but specifically when I'm talking about black men, most of them did not have, that were from the land of Nebraska. That was not their journey. And when I moved to the South, it's a prolific experience that a lot of gentlemen have their full spirit intact, huh? And it's not really my stern ministry. I have critical criteria when engaging in a fully spirited man. I'm not doing them small things. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing small and shifting. I'm not doing that. It needs to be a Makana man set. It needs to rise from the ashes like a mighty phoenix. You understand me? That being said, and I'm a neurospicy girl myself, but I've met too many men in the South with their entire spirit intact who are not neurotypical, on the verge of being touched, for that data to be real. Hell no. So I think I came out of that all right, but y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
RFK Jr. just said those children that are circumcised early have double their chance to get autism. Now, this still links back to the Tylenol, because he says those that are circumcised early, they give them Tylenol, and that's what causes the autism. But to be honest, those studies only show correlation, not necessarily cause and effect. So, for example, every time I eat tacos, it rains, so tacos cause thunderstorms. That's the correlation. And scientists reviewed those studies, and it is small samples, but Tylenol, it's weak data. Experts have called it flawed and misleading, so there's zero solid proof that circumcision and Tylenol causes autism. Moral of the story, just because somebody famous says it doesn't make it factual. Just because I say it doesn't make it factual. Definitely go and research, study, and then make your own opinion, decide from what you research, right? Nevertheless, let's keep our eyes open and keep watching what is going on in our community, in our world.
Let's talk about journalistic integrity when influencers become journalists, okay? Here's the thread. RFK Jr. claimed that there is a connection between early circumcision and autism during today's cabinet meeting, and no media pushed back. The entire cabinet just sat in agreement. What a world we live in. You read this and you think, insane. How is this man claiming that circumcisions are causing autism? And then you watch the full clip, and it's RFK saying, so there is a causation between circumcision and Tylenol use, because when children are circumcised, they're given Tylenol, right? Do I agree with this personally? No, I don't, okay? I'm not claiming anything about the context of what's being said. I'm talking about journalistic integrity. There is a reason he did not include Tylenol in all of this, and it's because he knew that just claiming that what RFK said was that circumcision was causing autism would get you more fired up, more riled up than it would if he had included Tylenol, because you've already gone through the emotional turmoil of having experienced that piece of information, right? Why is this a problem, right? Because if someone on the right sees this, watches the clips, sees it in its full context, they actually have ammunition to say the leftist media is blah, 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 blah. Liberal media is radical, blah, 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 blah. There is merit to that argument when we do shit like this. Also, something happens to us when someone we agree with, who holds our moral ideology, right, similar to us, does something like this, is we don't want to counter them because they're similar to us, right? We give them preferential treatment and we don't want to counter their claims, so we go ahead with it. And we also go ahead with the groupthink that they create based on their misinformation. Now, let me be very clear. This is not an invitation to say Aaron Parnas is blah, 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 and talk shit about him on my comments. I'm not for that. This is about journalistic integrity and talking about what we miss out in terms of context, important context that would help people form a complete opinion about a situation. This is manipulation.
So, according to RFK Jr., men who are circumcised are more likely to have autism because they end up taking Tylenol.
Much to lose. Yeah, go ahead.
There's also there's many other confirmation studies. There's 2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. It's highly likely because they're given Tylenol. Oh, none of this is dispositive, but all of it is stuff that we should be paying attention to.
But, there's a tremendous amount of proof or evidence, I would say, as a non-doctor, but I've studied this a long time ago. I met Bobby in my office 20 years ago. We were talking about the same thing 20 years ago. And I was a real estate developer. It bothered me that it seemed to be getting worse, but it's so bad now when you hear these numbers. It's not even really sustainable. I don't know how people do it, but there is some very strong evidence on Tylenol. In fact, at one point, I guess the company gave a warning.
They still don't recommend it during pregnancy. That's the weird thing.
They're not recommending it, and that's the company itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome officially to Donald Trump's insane asylum. For all those people to be sitting there in that room and not questioning RFK about where he got that data from, it really does speak volume. I mean, it's almost like they're in there telling on themselves, all right? Because you just got to wonder, okay, so you didn't get circumcised, or is it you didn't do the Tylenol, or, it just makes absolutely no sense that RFK Jr. is hell-bent on trying to convince people, especially women, that they shouldn't take Tylenol. It's sad, ladies and gentlemen, where Donald Trump and RFK Jr. are trying to brand themselves as medical professionals, and they're once again giving out inappropriate medical advice that I'm pretty confident their supporters are so gullible they'll probably believe what they're saying. Wow, wow, wow. This is an embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not a medical professional, all right, but I'll say this: please don't listen to the president and RFK Jr. when it comes to medical advice. Please consult your doctors.
Did you circumcise me?
What?
Yeah, did you circumcise me?
Sweetheart, are you being serious right now?
Well, did you circumcise me too early?
Sweetheart, I didn't circumcise you. Why are you asking me this? What are you talking about?
Because maybe that's why I'm autistic.
Have you lost your ever-loving mind? What are you talking about?
You don't think that's why I'm autistic?
One, I didn't circumcise you, so if that's the reason for autism, that is not why you're autistic, because I didn't circumcise you, 1. 2, that's not what causes autism, and neither does Tylenol. What? Are you serious, B?
No, I'm just messing with you. Okay, love you.
Oh my gosh.
Love you, bye.
I hope you're sitting down for this one. So, just heard that there was a meeting with RFK, and he said that there's now a link between early circumcision and autism. Yes, you heard me correctly. He said, RFK Jr. said, out of his mouth, you know how he talks like he has brain damage, that children who, or little boys who are circumcised, there's also a link between the circumcision and Tylenol. So when you're circumcised, you get snipped, and the babies are given Tylenol. So he said that there was a study, but he didn't cite the study. So now it's circumcision leads to Tylenol that leads to autism. Who is babysitting?
The skin that's removed from the tip of the penis is linked to autism. I didn't say it. Friend, pick up the phone. That's what RFK Jr. said. He said that early circumcision is linked to autism. Meanwhile, if you're a woman with autism, you're like, what about me? And if you're a woman with autism whose mother did not take Tylenol, shit, you're an anomaly, ma'am. You're an anomaly. We can't make this shit up. We cannot make this shit up. Who gave them? I thought they were off. Why are they still talking? Release the files. Release the files. Also at the stupid cabinet meeting, Chrissy Noem was like, we're just buying up buildings and businesses to house the ICE agents because Chicago people aren't letting them use the restroom and eat and, do stuff. They're saying no, they can't come in. And so the solution is to use taxpayers' dollars to buy businesses and buildings to house the ICE agents who are, oh, Jesus.
We are not going to laugh at the people in the government because laughing at them is how we got here. However, RFK fixing his worm-infested brain and that outlandish ass mouth to say that boys who are circumcised have a higher rate of autism. Now niggas is just saying anything. We're just throwing things at the wall. It's fine if you say we don't know. We don't know. However, blaming women who take Tylenol.
This is all I got from this video, and I didn't know how this man got all this is. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I don't know how he comes. I don't know how they wake up with all these informations. Like, who made this man? Who made him Secretary for Health or what for Health again? Like, seriously, FRK Jr., I don't get it. See, I also took my time because, there are some things you hear, you will, first of all, try to Google it straight up. There is actually no link to circumcision to autism. There is nothing linking both of them together. And the fact that the head of the country and the secretary sat in the same, room talking about Tylenol and autism circumcision. See, nobody should tell. I don't want to hear that you are no longer circumcising your child because that is the end. How can somebody not circumcise? Oh my God, this is not funny. It's not funny in the sense that they are spreading lies, right? There is no research. There is no backup. There is nothing ever so far that you and I, so far that I've been on Earth, or how, I don't know how long you've been on Earth. There is nothing, no research that has said that, circumcision is linked to autism. Nothing linked to it so far, as long as we are still alive, right? So where did he get this from? I don't know how they wake up every day to think that they are talking to idiots, because it's only an idiot that will listen to these people. And if you listen to them without making your own research, you must really be on a very long thing. So now what they are planning to do is to, before you know what is going on, they will stop circumcision because, they will tell you that circumcision is what causes autism. So I don't know. And I just do not understand these people. But please, on no account should they, or even, in fact, on no account should you not circumcise your child. especially your male child. Okay, women do not circumcise, right? On no account should you not circumcise your male child, because that is the end. It cannot be a trend. He is probably going to be single for the rest of his life. People will be on the run. Like, who does that? Who thinks about all these? Like, I'm not just stop saying things like this. He should stop waking up. I mean, they wake up. Wait, is that man, does he have any health something certificate? He's not a doctor, he's not a nurse, he's not nothing, no health certificate. But that man wants to sit there with the president and tell you what to do when it comes to health and what not to do without any proper research. Now that is uncalled for. I mean, I sincerely speaking, literally almost everybody in White House, right, are DEI hire. All of them. There is no one you will tell me that is not DEI hire. Are you going to start from Stephen Miller, Pe0ple, F.R.K. Jr., J.D. Vance, the head of state, the head of the country, all of them, Pam Bondi, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Loomer, all of them are DEI hire. Do not ever let them tell you what to do and what not to do. Listen to doctors. I mean, listen to real doctors. But so far, I have nurses here. I have black nurses. I have black doctors on this platform. Don't play with me. Don't think I do not have all that. I have black doctors. I have black nurses here. So you can also tell us if there is anything linking to autism when it comes to male circumcision. I want to learn. Bye for now.